We're at the National Quartet Convention. Sitting with me is the face behind the voice of the gospel greats. This is Paul Heil. And Paul, welcome to Gospel Music Today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
You're on how many stations now?
Well, close to 200 radio stations around the country, and that's been pretty stable for several years now. But the newest kind of things that we're seeing, we're on XM and Sirius satellite radio, and we're also on some stations in Canada, quite a few stations in Canada. That's relatively new. And on stations in the UK and Northern Ireland and the Philippines, and it's just amazing around the world, and people listen on the internet. We have a loyal missionary listener who listens down in Southeast Asia. It just boggles my mind.
And several years on American Forces Radio and television.
That's right. We did have a special version that we did. We took features from the regular program and packaged them into a special program for Armed Forces Radio, and that was quite an outreach. We got a mail from people stationed in Europe, stationed in Germany, and so forth, and around the world. Fascinating.
Now, we would assume that this program grew out of experience in gospel music radio, but that's not the case.
No, it is not the case, and that's people are surprised when I tell them I have not had a single day in my life of employment in a Christian radio station. My background was in secular radio. In fact, my background was in news. I was a radio news director for 7 or 8 years, a TV news director for 2 years, and if you listen to the Gospel Greats program, you can hear that coming through, I believe, because of the way we package the interviews and edit the interviews on the program. So that was my background, but I've always had a love for radio, I've always had a love for journalism, I've always had a love for music, and especially Southern gospel music. We used to have old Blackwood Brothers Statesman records. I almost said CDs, but they were records back in those days. We used to have them as I was growing up and listened to them on a regular basis, and it just had a love for that. And the program really grew out of that love for that kind of music and for syndication and networking and that kind of thing that I was always interested into. And I tell people frequently that it boggles my mind how all of these different interests that I had, even when I was a child, come together in what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Did you start with syndication or start on one station?
No, the program has actually always been a syndicated program. It has never originated from a radio station. So it has always been done on that basis. In fact, it wasn't on in my home area. It wasn't even on until about 5 or 6 months after I started the program. Finally, people locally could hear what I was doing. But no, it's always been a syndicated program.
Now, the other half of the Heil family is involved with Springside Music. That's your wife, Sheila. Tell us about that. We love Springside Music.
Well, thank you. Springside Marketing is what we call it, and that started in 1986. In fact, right now we're celebrating our 25th anniversary of Springside Marketing, and that really grew out of the radio program, because people would write in and they'd say, where can I find this music that I hear on the program? My local bookstore doesn't have a very good supply, and what they have is 20 years old, and I just can't find this music. So we thought, well, let's see what we can do about creating a catalog and making it available to people that they can purchase by mail. And that's what happened, and it's just grown ever since then. Springside.com is where it is, if I can get a plug in.
Now, 32 years ago for the Gospel Greats, did you think it was going to grow to this?
I had no idea, quite frankly. I just knew that this was something I felt that I was supposed to do, and that has been reconfirmed to me many times over the years because of the response to certain songs or things on the program, the response by people who listen and who say how much it has touched them and blessed them. And so it has been confirmed many times over the years. But no, I didn't think starting out that it would go this far. I'm very happy that it has. And I think part of it has been the consistency of the program over all of these years, because we're doing today basically what we did back then. Introducing the artists, we're using the interviews and so forth, as you do, and we have the music, and it just is pretty much the same formula. Now, the content. The ingredients have changed a little bit over the years. There are new groups, there are new songs, new technology certainly in how we produce the program and distribute the program, but the whole concept is pretty much the same.
Now, at one time you were sending it out on cassette.
Well, it was on cassette. We started out on the reel-to-reel, and we got to the point that a lot of stations actually asked us, don't you have it available on cassette? And we were very reluctant to send it out on cassette because of the quality difference between the reel-to-reel and the cassette, which the cassette wasn't of the same quality. But they insisted, so what we did, we installed a one-to-one duplication of high-quality cassettes. And we went that way for many years until we actually started in, it was December. It was the Christmas program in 1998. That's the time we switched over to all digital for recording and also for distribution then on CDs.
Well, Paul, it's nice to meet you, and we want to thank you for being on Gospel Music Today.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the honor to be here, and I feel, as I'm sure you do, God makes it all possible, and to God be the glory for His blessings, not only on us, but also through us.